take 2 of our Champions League Group Stage adventures, where we're actually taking you with us this time. Where are we going, Soph? Because I will forget.
We are off to Norway this week. We are going to Bergen, very, very beautiful place on the west coast of Norway, and we are going to see Brann against Slavia Praha in the Champions League.
That was a great bit of audio there in the background as we wait for our flight. And then we are heading back home for Chelsea versus Paris FC, which should be a good one at Stamford Bridge. But first, 100% rain tomorrow in Bergen. I cannot wait. I'm Rachel.
I'm Sophie.
And this is Extra Time with Girls on the Ball.
Good evening. On behalf of the entire crew, we would like to welcome you on board this Norwegian flight to Bergen. Our estimated flight time is 2 hours.
So we've arrived in our hotel in Bergen. I had to deal with Rachel doing her dad jokes on the way in about fjords in Norway. I wasn't very impressed. You were a bit unimpressed. I wasn't very unimpressed. Can you relay your dad joke?
What, you want to now embarrass me on the pod?
Yes.
I'm not going to do that. You obviously thought something of the jokes because you wouldn't have brought them up.
What were the jokes?
I think the best one was saying, how can anyone afford to live here because it's so expensive in Norway? Look, you're laughing now. You can't bitch about a joke and then laugh at it. The whole point of a joke is to make you laugh, and it's working.
Anyway, I had to deal with that standard of jokes, and we are now in our hotel, and Rachel is now doing a hotel review, pointing out all the bits and pieces. So what do you think of this one?
Very nice hotel in quite a central area in a very beautifully nice architecture building. Bit of a maze getting to our bedroom. It was one of those Zoolander situations where we went right 3 times when we could have just gone left and gotten to our bedroom an awful lot quicker. Bloody hell, the ceilings are high. I feel like you could have a whole other floor in this room. The ceilings are about 6 metres high. And what's mad is there's another floor above us. Is that a waste of space? I don't know. But it's very nice. We have a lovely view. You can almost see the harbour if you lean real close to the window. And it's, top-notch hotel, would recommend.
So I was here in, I think it was 2019, just after the World Cup for England game against Norway. And we are literally about 100 yards away from the restaurant that Susie Rack and I had dinner. So I'm well acquainted with this place and I'm looking forward to exploring tomorrow. See you in the morning. So we have made our way for breakfast, to a very cute little cafe called Pygmalion. Just maybe 70 metres from our hotel because the rain was so bad. What are you looking forward to doing today, Rach?
I have absolutely no idea. I was looking forward to walking around Bergen, but I'm not sure I'm willing to do that today. Depends how heavy this rain stays. But it looks very pretty in the rain. I'm sure it looks even nicer not in the rain.
The annoying thing is that this time next week it'll start snowing, so that would have been pretty. But it's a very, very pretty place, and I am going to force you out in the rain. We're going to go wandering past the the painted houses, just down by the wharf, and might take you up in the funicular if you're lucky.
Lucky me.
So we are up the top of a hill in Bergen. We are got the funicular up the hill, and it's very windy. Rachel is about to blow away, but we are now looking down onto the city of Bergen. It's very, very pretty. The fjords in the background, and beautiful.
Totally worth it.
Yeah?
Definitely.
Got your feet planted on the ground?
I do, but I think I might blow away in this coat. So we are off the tram and following the crowd to what we hope is Brann Stadium.
You see lights, so I think that's progress.
Yeah, but there's lights everywhere. We're surrounded by mountains and everywhere's lights, but there are lots of tiny people in little Brann shirts and salopedes, because everyone wears salopedes here because the weather is so wet. We should be going the right direction. We talked about smells earlier, and right now, I don't know how to describe it, that smoky, burny smell that just smells like winter. Log fires, Christmassy winter. That's what we're getting right now. All we're missing is the snow.
it's half-time here in Brann Stadium, and it is 1-0 to the hosts. Brann have been in control of this one. They've looked pretty comfortable. They look good in possession. They look confident, and they're patient as well with the ball. Their high press is working pretty well as well. It's giving Slavia Praha's defence little time to work with as they get out, and it's led to a few mistakes at the back. But yeah, it probably should have been more to Brann in that first half. They had their chances. They couldn't make them all stick. Praha probably had one chance at the other end of the pitch, saved by Mikkelsen. Other than that, it's been pretty quiet down that end. The fans have been absolutely raucous. They've been brilliant. They were bouncing for the goal. They're loving life here. Let's see what happens in the second half.
So we are back in our lovely hotel room. We had a quick turnaround after the match, given it was a 6:45 kickoff, so that we could get some food. And we had about 10 minutes to turn me around from being a drowned rat to somewhat presentable, which I managed to do. Talk to me, Soph, how did you find that match? That was our first time seeing Slavia Praha and Brann.
I think Brann were really good in that first half period, but kind of fell away maybe in the second half. I think Praha also got better. Brann probably should have got 2 or 3 in that first half. They were so dominant. And there was a few mistakes at the back by Slavia too. So their press was working really well, and they looked really confident in the ball. But as the game went on and it still remained 1-0, you always felt that Slavia could come back into it. But the fans were excellent. They sang their team home to a second victory in the Champions League. It's their first time in this group stage, and they got their first win last week against Bolton, and they got back that up this week with a second win. So big win for them. They look in good position now. I mean, there's still a long way to go, but they're doing all they can to get themselves that second spot, because we all know probably that Lyon will be going first. So it's what they needed to do. Things to improve on, I think, but that's just where they are at as a team. A few familiar faces as well. But yeah, no, they were pretty good.
I did give some pretty insightful thoughts during the second half. Here's what I had to say about the match. Just under half an hour to go here. My key takeaways thus far from this match is that I am wet. Brann are probably the better side. I am wet. The Brann fans are very loud. And yeah, I'm wet. Really wet. It's raining a lot. One thing I did agree on with you, Soph, was, other than the rain, other than me being really wet, were the fans. They were excellent, and I'm going to let them sing us out.
So we are back home, and we had a few hours with the bun, and then we are back on the road again, heading up to London, heading up to Chelsea, a big one at Stamford Bridge tonight. What are you looking forward to, Rich?
I'm looking forward to seeing Paris FC in the flesh. I know they didn't get off to a great start, so I want to see how they bounce back. I think Chelsea, they're really finding their form now, so I'm also excited to see how they come out tonight.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting with Paris, because it was kind of knockouts for them in that qualifying stage. So how do they translate that into group stage? They obviously lost to Hacken last week. Big game against Chelsea tonight. You would have to bank on Chelsea because of the form they're in at the moment. I know last week didn't go to plan, partly down to the refereeing decisions, actually mainly down to the refereeing decisions, which weren't brilliant. And they'll be frustrated from that, and they'll be even more motivated, I think, to get that win, because they can't be dropping too many points at this stage. Paris have good players to watch out for, I think, but and we chatted with Nadozi last week, and they'll be motivated too, but I think if you're on paper, you would pick Chelsea to win.
Yeah, I think especially after the nature of their win at the weekend, will give them huge confidence, that kind of fluidity they've found, and LJ on fire as well, and LJ at the bridge is just another beast entirely for Paris to have to deal with. But equally, this is Chelsea's, 15th game in 2 days or something ridiculous like that. They have been playing a lot
exaggeration
of football. There. They have been playing a lot of football, so it will be interesting to see if there's any rotation. Obviously, another match of the weekend they have to contend with. So,
and there is also a question mark over Millie Bright, who was rested / fine at the weekend, but now appears to be a little less fine than she was at the weekend. And Emma Hayes said there's a question mark over her. She said there was a problem with the knee injury that she had towards the end of last season.
It's interesting that, isn't it? Because she had an operation for it. So I understand she has played a lot of football, but I'm just saying it's interesting. Hopefully it's not a case of something that needs further attention, having had an operation for it. But yeah, we'll see tonight.
Yep, looking forward to it.
Chelsea's pre-match music. I don't know the songs, but they feel like bangers. I feel like I could be on holiday somewhere, sipping maybe a cocktail, and you're in that in-between of being out and just being out for a drink, where you kind of want to dance. I don't know if that's the vibe they're going for, but I'm definitely enjoying it pre-match. Well, another goal update, but this time it's for the visitors. Paris FC have drawn level through Graboval. It came from a corner. A looping header seemed to go over the goalkeeper, and despite the best efforts of Jess Carver, it did find the back of the net, so it is 1-1.
So it's half-time here at Stamford Bridge, and it is 1-1 between Chelsea and Paris FC. Chelsea took the lead through Sam Kerr, where she latched onto a telepathic pass from Lauren James, but Paris hit back and they got their goal through Graboval, a looping header that Jess Carver could do nothing to keep out. It's 1-1 at break.
Well, it didn't take very long into the second half, but Sam Kerr is on the score sheet again. It's a hat-trick for the Australian in the 57th minute. Chelsea are winning 3-1. So, full time, we're home, long drive home, but we are back and got to get your thoughts on the match tonight. 4-1 in the end. I think a scoreline that sounds like a pretty emphatic victory, but equally maybe was a little bit scrappy. But that doesn't matter, I guess, if Chelsea are winning 4-1 when they're playing kind of scrappy and not at their absolute best. That's a bloody good sign.
I think I put it in my report that Paris was stubborn, and that might sound a bit strange because it was a 4-1 scoreline, but they were. I think they, especially in the first half, they troubled at Chelsea quite a lot, especially in those wide areas. Matteo was getting down the right, and I think they had their chances, and but for Ankat and Bergen making some really solid saves, could have maybe got a couple more goals in that first and second half. But yeah, I think Chelsea did what they do best. They win, and they know how to win, and when they're not playing well. And Emma Hayes said afterwards that it was, the amount of games is getting to them. They were properly leggy in that first half, and she thought that was the reason why she brought Fran Kirby on to add to the creativity and to try and spark some, I guess, energy in their attack. And you saw that Fran Kirby's influence was brilliant.
Yeah, here is what Emma Hayes said about the match.
I felt we weren't close enough to Sam in the first half. I thought we struggled to build in a double pivot, but I changed some of that shape after 20 minutes. But we were sloppy in the first half, and I think the game's accumulation caught up on us a little bit tonight. I don't think people really realise how hard it is to keep doing it. So I thought it was a performance where we dug something out, but the strength came from the bench tonight.
Another player we obviously have to talk about is Sam Kerr. Emma Hayes spoke highly of her, of course, in the post-match press conference. I'll drop that in a minute. But, she's still not 100%, you know, having dealt with such an injury during the summer and missed out so much of the World Cup and maybe hasn't had as much game time. And she can still do that when she's not at her absolute fittest, which is pretty frightening.
Yeah, I think that calf injury has been a real problem for her. Obviously, it kept her out a lot of the World Cup, but then it recurred at the beginning of the season. So she's just been massively struggling to get form and minutes and rhythm, I think, to her game. But, you know, I think we all know that Sam Kerr has instinctive finishing. And as Emma said, you know, there's no one who finishes a ball like her. And those 3 goals were really instinctive in the way that she finished them off. I especially like the Route 1 football. Bergen, all the way up to Sam Kerr. She took a touch to take it past the defenders and then just lobbed it over Nadozi. And, you know, she has that kind of element where she can always pull off the spectacular even when she's not at her top level. And as I think Emma said later in the press conference, if that's Sam not at her top, not 100%, what will she do if she is? Because score 6 goals? I don't know.
Maybe, I wouldn't be surprised. And this is what Emma Hayes said about the incredible Sam Kerr.
I fancied her to score a hat-trick tonight. I said it to Paul in the dressing room before the game. I felt like she don't get credit for all the other little bits she does. And while she's not, by her standards, top yet, I don't know anyone who just puts the ball away like she does. She really is. She's so alert and so decisive with her movement. She can make a bad pass a good pass. I think the third goal, was it she lobbed it? Was that the third or the second? Well, I mean, that's brilliant centre forward play.
Well, all that matters, I guess, as well for Chelsea is, you know, a dominant scoreline, 3 points. But Häcken are currently doing business in Group D and are sitting top after beating Real Madrid last night as well. So Chelsea in second with 4 points. I'm excited to see them take on Häcken.
Yeah, they host Häcken at Stamford Bridge next, so that's a big game. And the race, I think, for the second spot, you know, it's early days yet, but I think it is between Häcken and Chelsea at the moment.
Who'd have thought?
Who'd have thought it? But I think, you know, Real Madrid have their own issues. I know last week Chelsea got that draw, but they will feel that they did enough to win it, and things out of their control happened. So that's going to be a big one at Stamford Bridge on the 14th of December, and we'll see what happens. But they're proving quite a prospect, the Swedes.
Absolutely. I'm also looking forward to doing the reverse leg the following week and going to Sweden, much like we did at Brann. I'm hoping this time maybe we'll have snow rather than rain. But hopefully you enjoyed our Champions League double match day episode, the one we failed to do the last time around, but we'll definitely continue doing it as the season goes on. And we will see you on Monday for another episode of Extra Time with Girls on the Ball.
Voilà. Assez à vous.